The Rapides Parish School Board announces that the parish has jumped into the top 10 for early child literacy across the state.
Rapides is now ranked 9th in overall literacy proficiency. That's up from 16th place just last year. At the beginning of the school year, just 57% of K through 3rd students were reading at or above grade level. And by the spring, that had risen to 73.6%. The school board says these numbers are the results of teachers with high quality instruction, schools with evidence-based literacy strategies, and parents that work with schools to keep kids reading at home.
The Executive Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Shannon Alford, says, quote, that progress belongs to our teachers, school leaders, and support staff who work every day to help students become strong readers. Literacy opens the door to lifelong success, and these gains will benefit our students and our community for years to come.